So now we come to the 142 Sutta, Dakkhinavibhanga Sutta, the exposition of offerings. This is a very important sutta on offerings or charity, dana. Thus have I heard, on one occasion the Blessed One was living in the Sakyan country at Kapilavatu in Nigroda's park. Then Mahapajapati Gotami took a new pair of cloths and went to the Blessed One. After paying homage to him, she sat down at one side and said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, this new pair of cloths has been spun by me, woven by me, especially for the Blessed One. Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept it from me out of compassion." When this was said, the Blessed One told her, "Give it to the Sangha, Gotami. When you give it to the Sangha, the offering will be made both to me and to the Sangha." A second time and a third time she said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, this new pair of cloths has been spun by me, woven by me, especially for the Blessed One. Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept it from me out of compassion." A second time and a third time the Blessed One told her, "Give it to the Sangha, Gotami. When you give it to the Sangha, the offering will be made both to me and to the Sangha." Stop here for a moment. This Mahapajapati Gotami is the foster mother of the Buddha. When the Buddha was born, it seems 7 days after the Buddha was born, the mother passed away. And this Mahapajapati is a sister of the Buddha's mother, and also another wife of the father. And during the Buddha's time, a man could take as many wives as he could afford. So I'm not sure how many wives the father had, but these two sisters were the wives of the father. So when the Buddha's mother died, this Mahapajapati Gotami took care of him like his own son. So because of that, you can imagine, you can think that she has a lot of love and respect for the Buddha, and she wanted to offer this pair of cloths made by her. You have to remember, during the Buddha's time, cloth was not common. Cloth was very difficult to come by. So before you can make a robe or make any clothes to wear, you first have to make the cloth first. So they have to weave the cloth from string, weave the cloth. Then after that only you think of making your whatever you want to do with it. So she had taken this trouble to weave this new pair of clothes for the Buddha. And the Buddha told her to give it to the Sangha, but she didn't want to give it to the Sangha, she wanted to give only to him. And she asked him even up to the third time. And the Buddha told him even up to the third time to give it to the Sangha. Then the Venerable Ananda said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, let the Blessed One accept the new pair of clothes from Mahapajapati Gotami. Mahapajapati Gotami has been very helpful to the Blessed One, Venerable Sir. As his mother's sister, she was his nurse, his foster mother, the one who gave him milk. She suckled the Blessed One when his own mother died. The Blessed One too has been very helpful to Mahapajapati Gotami, Venerable Sir. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahapajapati Gotami has gone for refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahapajapati Gotami abstains from killing living beings, from taking what is not given, from misconduct in sensual pleasures, from false speech, and from wine, liquor and intoxicants, which are the basis of negligence. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahapajapati Gotami possesses perfect confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and that she possesses the virtues loved by noble ones. It is owing to the Blessed One that Mahapajapati Gotami is free from doubt about suffering, about the origin of suffering, about the cessation of suffering, and about the way leading to the cessation of suffering. The Blessed One has been very helpful to Mahapajapati Gotami. And the Buddha said, "That is so, Ananda, that is so. And one person owing to another has gone for refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, rising up for him, according him reverential salutation and polite services, and by providing robes, alms, food, resting places, and medicinal requisites. When one person, owing to another, has come to abstain from killing living beings, from taking what is not given, from misconduct in sensual pleasures, from false speech, and from wine, liquor, and intoxicants, which are the basis of negligence, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, etc. When one person, owing to another, has come to possess perfect confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and to possess the virtues loved by noble ones or Aryans, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, etc. When one person, owing to another, has become free from doubt about suffering, about the origin of suffering, about the cessation of suffering, and about the way leading to the cessation of suffering, I say that it is not easy for the former to repay the latter by paying homage to him, rising up for him, according him reverential salutation and polite services, and by providing robes, alms, food, resting places, and medicinal requisites. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha says that is so that he agrees that the Buddha says he has been very helpful to Mahapajapati Gautami. And the Buddha says when one person owing to another has gone for refuge to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, that means the person who brings you into the Buddhist religion to take refuge with the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, the Buddha said it is not easy to repay the person who brings you to take refuge with the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Even you pay homage to him, rising up for him, revere him, provide polite services, and provide robes, arms, food, resting places, and medicine, etc. Still hard to repay the kindness. And then, secondly, this is why hard to repay the kindness, because if a person comes into the Buddhist religion, then it is very, very beneficial. If he takes refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, it's very beneficial to him. He creates this affinity with the triple gem, so that in future lifetime he will have this affinity with the triple gem, lifetime after lifetime. And the second one, when one person owing to another comes to keep the precepts, these 5 precepts, and it's not easy to repay the kindness, because if a person learns to keep the precepts, then he does not create evil karma, and keeping the precepts is very important. If you keep the precepts, that is one of the reasons why a person can take rebirth in the heaven. But a person who breaks the precepts will either go down to the animal realm or to the hell realm. So that's why it's very important to keep the precepts. So if someone teaches you to keep the precepts, it's hard to repay his kindness. Then the third one, if a person possesses a perfect confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and has the Aryan virtues, Aryan moral conduct, then what happens? This is the characteristic of a Sotapanna. Sotapanna, a first fruit Arya, has these 4 characteristics: perfect confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and possess the Aryan Sila, moral conduct. The Aryan Sila, or the Aryan moral conduct, consists of the 3 factors in the Noble Eightfold Path: right speech, right action, and right livelihood, which basically consists of 7 precepts. So if someone helps another to possess these characteristics of the Sotapanna, that means helps him to become an Arya, then it's very, very difficult to repay the kindness. That means teach him the Dhamma so that he has the perfect confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and he will be able to keep the Aryan Sila. And then lastly, when one person owing to another has become free from doubt about the Four Noble Truths. Free from doubt about the Four Noble Truths, that means he possesses right view. A person who possesses right view has entered the stream. Once you enter the stream, you have attained the first path. Then before dying, that path will turn to fruit, till it becomes a Sotapanna. So these last two, possessing perfect confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and Aryan virtues, this and the other one, free from doubt about Four Noble Truths, are the characteristics of a Sotapanna. Okay, there are 14 kinds of personal offerings, Ananda. One gives a gift to the Tathagata, Arahant, Sammasambuddha. This is the first kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to a Pacceka Buddha. This is the second type of personal offering. One gives a gift to an Arahant disciple of the Tathagata. This is the third kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of Arahantship. This is the fourth kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to a non-returner. That means a Sakadagamin. This is the fifth kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of non-return. This is the sixth kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to a once returner, Anagamin. One gives a gift to a once returner is a Sakadagamin. Just now was Anagamin. The non-returner is an Anagamin. And the sixth is one gives a gift to a once returner, Sakadagamin. This is the seventh kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of one's return. This is the eighth kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to a stream enterer, Sotapanna. This is the ninth kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of stream entry. This is the 10th kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to one outside the Sasana, the Buddhist religion, who is free from lust for sensual pleasures. This is the 11th kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to a virtuous ordinary person. This is the 12th kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to an immoral ordinary person. This is the 13th kind of personal offering. One gives a gift to an animal. This is the 14th kind of personal offering. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha talks about the 14 kinds of personal offerings, and the Buddha arranges them in the order of merit. If you give to a person, the highest is giving to Sammasambuddha, Arahant Sammasambuddha, and then secondly to a Pacceka Buddha, thirdly to an Arahant disciple of the Buddha, fourthly one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of Arahantship. This means a fourth path attainer, and then you give to a non-returner, that's Anagamin, this is the fifth type. And the sixth one, you give to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of non-return. That means it's a third path attainer. Then after that, followed by the second fruit attainer, then second path attainer, then first fruit attainer, then first path attainer. Then external ascetic who has attained the jhanas, so he is said to be free from lust from sensual pleasures. And then after that, virtuous ordinary person. An ordinary person is a Putujana, not an Arya, but this person is virtuous. And then after that, an immoral ordinary person. Then after that, an animal. So you see from here, you give to the Aryans, the merit is higher, but even the Aryans, they have different levels. one thing you notice here, you can give to a path attainer. You can give to a fourth path attainer, a third path attainer, a second path attainer, and a first path attainer. This directly contradicts the Abhidhamma. Because in the Abhidhamma, it says once a person attains a path, he exists only for one shana, or one khana, one moment. The next conscious moment, he becomes a fruit attainer. So in other words, say for example, the fourth path attainer, once he attains the fourth path, immediately becomes an arahant. If that is so, then you have no chance of giving to a path attainer, right? You have no chance of doing dana to a path attainer. So here, since you can do an offering to a path attainer, it means that he exists more than one khana, one conscious moment. So that's why people don't study the sutta. They don't see the contradiction between the Abhidhamma, later books like the Abhidhamma or Visuddhimagga or commentaries or Mahayana Sutras. There are contradictions with the original suttas. So, okay. The other thing I'd like you to notice here that giving a gift to an external ascetic who is free from lust, from sensual pleasures, meaning he has attained the jhanas, the merit or the blessings is higher than giving to a virtuous ordinary person. So once a person has attained jhana, he's quite special because jhana is considered to be one of the Uttari Manusa Dhamma, supernormal attainments, jhana, psychic powers, Aryan stages of attainment. All these are considered supernormal attainments. Herein Ananda, by giving a gift to an animal, the offering may be expected to repay 100-fold. By giving a gift to an immoral ordinary person, the offering may be expected to repay 1,000-fold. By giving a gift to a virtuous ordinary person, the offering may be expected to repay 100,000-fold. By giving a gift to one outside the sasana, the Buddha's religion, who is free from lust for sensual pleasures, the offering may be expected to repay 100,000 times 100,000-fold. By giving a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of stream entry, the offering may be expected to repay incalculably, immeasurably. What then should be said about giving a gift to a stream enterer? What should be said about giving a gift to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of one's return, or to a one's returner, or to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of non-return, or to a non-returner, or to one who has entered upon the way to the realization of the fruit of arahantship, or to an arahant, or to a Pacceka Buddha? What should be said about giving a gift to a Tathagata, Arahant, Sammasambuddha? Stop here for a moment. So you see, if you give a gift to an animal, the offering may be expected to repay 100-fold. That means, for example, you give a plate of food to an animal. When your karma, this vipaka ripens, you get the result of the merit from the offering. You expect to get 100 plates of food, 100-fold. Then you give to an immoral ordinary person, a person who does not keep the precept, then you should expect to get 1,000 times more than what you gave him. And then you give to a virtuous ordinary person, you should expect to get 100,000 times what you gave to a virtuous ordinary person. And then you give to an external ascetic who has attained the jhanas, you can expect to receive 100,000 times 100,000. That means 10 billion, 10 to the power of 10 is 10 billion times what you gave. And then if you give to any Aryan, the result is immeasurable, incalculable. So this is the fruit of giving to a personal offering, giving to a single person or even an animal. So you can see, because the merit of giving to an Aryan is incalculable. So that's why people like to, in Buddhist countries, people like to give to monks and nuns, because they think the chances of finding an Arya among the monks and nuns are higher than among lay people. There are 7 kinds of offerings made to the Sangha, Ananda. One gives a gift to the Sangha of both monks and nuns, headed by the Buddha. This is the first kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift to a Sangha of both monks and nuns after the Tathagata has attained final Nibbana. This is the second kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift to a Sangha of monks. This is the third kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift to a Sangha of nuns. This is the fourth kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift saying, appoint so many monks and nuns for me from the Sangha. This is the fifth kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift saying, appoint so many monks for me from the Sangha. This is the sixth kind of offering made to the Sangha. One gives a gift saying, appoint so many nuns for me from the Sangha. This is the seventh kind of offering made to the Sangha. In future times, Ananda, there will be members of the clan who are yellow necks, immoral, of evil character. People will give gifts to those immoral persons for the sake of the Sangha. Even then, I say, an offering made to the Sangha is incalculable, immeasurable. And I say that in no way does a gift to a person individually ever have greater fruit than an offering made to the Sangha. I'll stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha describes the different levels of offering, the different levels of merit when you give to the Sangha. The most meritorious when you give to the Sangha of monks and nuns headed by the Buddha. Then the second one is after the Buddha has passed into Nibbana, then you give a gift to the Sangha of both monks and nuns, etc. So this is the declining merit of giving to a Sangha. But one thing I must say, that in the Vinaya books, it is mentioned that, for example, if you give to, it is mentioned if you give to the monk Sangha and nun Sangha, for example, if a person offers 10 robes, and he says, these 10 robes are both for the monk Sangha and nun Sangha. Even it happens that there are 20 monks and 1 nun, because he has said that these robes are to be given to the monk and nun Sangha, then it means the monk Sangha has to get 5 robes and the nun Sangha has to get 5 robes. So even you have 1 nun, you must give that 1 nun 5 robes, and you have to give the 20 monks 5 robes, because it is an offering to the Sangha, it is not a personal offering. Because the Sangha in the Vinaya does not mean the existing monks, It means the monks present and in future for eternity. So for example, if somebody gives a gift to the Sangha of Vihara Buddha Gautama, it means the monks who presently reside here and all future monks who reside here for eternity. So even if you have 1 monk staying in this Vihara and you give an offering with the thought you want to give to the Sangha, then the merit is the merit of giving to a Sangha, not to an individual. So the number of monks does not count. It's your intention whether you give to the person or to the Sangha. So there are some people, they don't understand this and they are greedy for merit. They like to give to famous monks. It's not necessary to give to famous monks. you just give to the Sangha. That's the more meritorious than to giving to any famous monk. And this last part, the Buddha says, in the future, the Sangha may consist of immoral monks, of evil character. That means they don't keep the precepts, they don't practice the holy path. Even then, if you give a gift to the Sangha, even to those corrupt monks, your gift is higher than giving to any individual, which means the merit is higher than giving even to the Buddha himself. So you must remember, if you want a lot of merit, always give to the Sangha. That's why in the beginning of this sutta, when Mahapajapati wanted to give the robe, the cloth, to the Buddha himself, the Buddha said, no, give it to the Sangha, because the Buddha wants to teach people that they should give to the Sangha. Then let the Sangha decide who is worthy to receive the cloth or the robe. So remember, the offering to the Sangha is immeasurable. Don't be choosy which monk you give to. And also remember that even if the monks are corrupt, if your intention is to give to the Sangha, then the merit is incalculable, immeasurable. There are 4 kinds of purification of offering. What for? There is the offering that is purified by the giver, not by the receiver. There is the offering that is purified by the receiver, not by the giver. There is the offering that is purified neither by the giver nor by the receiver. There is the offering that is purified both by the giver and by the receiver. And what is the offering that is purified by the giver, not by the receiver? Here the giver is virtuous, of good character, and the receiver is immoral, of evil character. Thus the offering is purified by the giver, not by the receiver. And what is the offering that is purified by the receiver, not by the giver? Here the giver is immoral, of evil character, and the receiver is virtuous, of good character. Thus the offering is purified by the receiver, not by the giver. And what is the offering that is purified neither by the giver nor by the receiver? Here the giver is moral, of evil character, and the receiver is immoral, of evil character. Thus the offering is purified neither by the giver nor by the receiver. And what is the offering that is purified both by the giver and by the receiver? Here the giver is virtuous, of good character, and the receiver is virtuous, of good character. Thus the offering is purified both by the giver and by the receiver. These are the 4 kinds of purification of offering. Stop here for a moment. So you can see here the gift or the offering is purified, and one of the parties is virtuous. The more virtuous, the greater the merit of that giving. So there is a case where the giver is virtuous. The second case is the receiver is virtuous. But I think the best case is the last one, where the giver and the receiver both are virtuous. Then the merit is the highest. That is what the Blessed One said. When the Sublime One had said that, the teacher said further, when a virtuous person to an immoral person gives, with trusting heart, a gift righteously obtained, placing faith that the fruit of action is great, the giver's virtue purifies the offering. When an immoral person to a virtuous person gives, with untrusting heart, a gift unrighteously obtained, nor places faith that the fruit of action is great, the receiver's virtue purifies the offering. When an immoral person to an immoral person gives, with untrusting heart, a gift unrighteously obtained, nor places faith that the fruit of action is great, neither's virtue purifies the offering. When a virtuous person to a virtuous person gives, with trusting heart, a gift righteously obtained, placing faith that the fruit of action is great, that gift, I say, will come to full fruition. When a passionless person to a passionless person gives, with trusting heart, a gift righteously obtained, placing faith that the fruit of action is great, that gift, I say, is the best of worldly gifts. This passionless person can be said to be one who has attained the jhanas. He's free from passion. Passion can be said to be sensual desire plus anger. So one who has attained the jhanas, if you give to another person who has attained the jhanas, then the fruit is very great. But a passionless person can also mean arhan. If an arhan gives to another arhan, then this is not very likely. But say like a Aryan disciple, like for example the Sotapanna, he gives to Aryan monk, then the gift is very, very meritorious. For example, like we read in the last year, the Sangyutta Nikaya, the Buddha had some Anagamin disciples like Chitta, and these lay disciples like Chitta, they like to offer to the Sangha, and these monks and nuns, they mentioned monks, I'm not sure whether nuns come, they regularly come to his house and take the meal. So that type of person, he gives to the Sangha, and he gives to Aryan, then the virtue is, the merit is very, very great. So this Dakkhinavibhanga Sutta is very interesting. There are a few things here we learn. That one is that you can give to path attainers, meaning that path attainers exist more than one kana, one moment, one conscious moment, which contradicts the Abhidhamma. And then secondly, the various levels of merit you get from giving to individuals. The highest merit is giving to a Sammasambuddha on the individual level. And after that, the Buddha says that the merit of giving to a Sangha is much more than giving to any individual. Even giving to a Buddha, the merit is not as great as giving to a Sangha. And I mentioned from the Vinaya books, giving to a Sangha doesn't necessarily mean you have 4 monks or more. Even you give to one monk, it can be meant a gift to the Sangha if your intention is to give to the Sangha, to support the Sangha. And it's stated here very clearly that even the monks are immoral, corrupt, but if your intention is to give to the Sangha, then the merit is immeasurable, incalculable, and surpasses even giving to the Buddha himself. And lastly, the purification of the gift is when the giver or the receiver is virtuous. So we stop here for tonight. Anything to discuss? What is meant by 100-fold or 1,000-fold is that if you don't consider other conditions, then only this act of giving to an animal, for example, then the merit will be 100 times what you gave. This karma vipaka, ripening, can be either this lifetime or can be a future lifetime, or may not even ripen, because there are so many factors involved. Generally, but then, yes. Yes, there's more than that now, because not only you get a better life in future, it also helps you when you want to practice the spiritual path. Because if you, for example, when we meditate, for the mind to calm down, for the mind to become one-pointed, it's very important that we have enough blessings, because the blessings will make us happy. And this happiness comes in two ways. One is from this charity. When you do charity, you do a lot of charity, then you think, when you remember it or you think about it, you become very happy. Secondly, from keeping the precepts. If a person's precept is pure, then you have no remorse. Remorse is a condition for making us not happy. And you need to be happy to be able to attain the jhanas. So this merit of giving, of charity, is helpful not only not only in your future lifetime, but also in the spiritual path. For example, if a person has done charity, has done much charity in the past, in the future lifetime, that person one day will probably become a monk. Because I believe that most of us in the future, one day, most people will become a monk or a nun to practice and get out of samsara. So if a person does a lot of charity, when you wear the robe and you beg for food, you get a lot of offerings. But if you don't do much charity, next time when you wear the robe and you go and beg for your food, you're not going to get much offerings or much good offerings.
In view of monastery, give charity contribution to temple, does that count as sangha? Because some temples were too poor to monks inside. So is that a sangha?
It depends whether there are some temples. If you give to the temple, the money may not be used to benefit the monks. It might be used by the committee in other ways. But if you give for the benefit of the sangha, it goes to benefit the sangha, then it's considered give to the sangha.
Sometimes we talk all these giving. Very often, me personally, I find there are a lot of people who are craving for these things. Isn't it better to give? Because you are happy in giving.
Yes, of course. It is mentioned in the sutta that if you do charity with a view to get this and to get that, then your merit is reduced because you have the selfish intention.
It's better to say you're giving something without expecting anything. That would be best.
Happy. Also, you must know that it is a meritorious act. You see here in page 1106. When a virtuous person to an immoral person gives with trusting heart a gift righteously obtained, placing faith that the fruit of action is great, the giver's virtue purifies the offering. So you see these passages here, whenever it mentions a virtuous person giving, he gives with a trusting heart, and he has the faith that the fruit of action is great, that he realizes that giving is not only good, that it's meritorious. But you see, when an immoral person to a virtuous person gives with untrusting heart, a gift unrighteously obtained, nor places faith that the fruit of action is great. This immoral person, he is immoral means he does not understand karma vipaka. That's why he does not keep the precepts. That's why he is immoral. So because he does not understand karma vipaka, so when he gives a gift also, he doesn't think that it is virtuous. Okay, no more question. You can stop here.